to another episode of Bryno's Brews, the show where I drink and evaluate the wonderful nectar of the gods that is beer. This week on the program, we've got another entry from the Southern Tier Brewing Company in Lakewood, New York. This is their Creme Brulee Imperial Stout. This beer weighs in at 10% alcohol by volume. Very heavy beer, and I'm hoping it's a very flavorful beer. Before we dive into this creme brulee head first, let's quickly go over the scoring system used on this show.
Scoring for Bryno's Brews is based loosely on the scoring system used by the Beer Judge Certification Program. In our system, a beer can earn a maximum of 10 points. 1 point can be awarded for appearance, 2 points for aroma, 4 points for flavor, 1 point for mouthfeel, and 2 points can be awarded for a beer's overall impression. And finally, partial points can be awarded in any category.
So that's how scoring works. So let's find out if this creme brulee is indeed the cream of the crop. Let's pop this open, this bomber here. Another decent poof there of carbonation, not a lot. So now let's get started. First off, as always, 1 point for the appearance of the beer, its color, its head, and everything that's pleasing to the eye. So, let's get going. Let's see some glugs here, and looking a little flat to start with, but let's see how it goes. I can get the aroma of the stuff right away. Not a very big head here, but the color is just about perfect. Cannot see through it at all. That's what you want from a good dark stout. But there not being much of a head, it's retaining itself pretty well. Before the head subsides, I want to score this really quickly. I would prefer the head to be a little bit more present in this kind of a beer, but still not too bad. So, out of 1 possible point for the appearance, I think I'll give this a 0.85. Alright, up next, 2 points for the aroma. The head is almost completely died up, but let's see what I can smell from this beer either way. Oh, wow. The vanilla is very, very present. It smells like a creme brulee would smell like. Like I said, the vanilla is very, very present, and I think it matches well with the maltiness that typically comes with a stout. I like the way this beer smells. No hoppiness, which is, again, what you want from a stout. It's like if someone shoved a vanilla bean up my nose. That's fantastic. I'm not going to waste on any more time with the aroma here. It just smells really, really good, really, really tasty. I'm giving it the full 2 points for the aroma. Alright, here comes the big one now, ladies and gentlemen. 4 points are on the line for flavor. I've got high hopes for this one. I hope I'm not disappointed. Ooh. Less talking, more drinking. Here it is. Creme Brulee from Southern Tier. Bottoms up. I'm getting the vanilla. I'm also getting some of the maltiness and such. Maybe because it was creme brulee and because the smell was a little bit more sweet. Was as sweet as I expected. I expected a really sweet kind of a presence here. I'm not really getting that as much. I'm not sure what to make of it though. I've had beers where the more I drink it, the less I like it. And the more I drink it, the more I like it. I have a feeling this is going to be in the latter category. I'm tasting a little bit of the bitterness from the hops. I'm guessing maybe that's the Columbus hops in there since they are very powerful hops. But maybe that's screwing it up a little bit. I'm not really sure if it is though. I'm getting a little bit of hoppiness on the aftertaste too. But the star of the show here is definitely the vanilla. Hop, the maltiness isn't nearly as strong as I thought it was going to be. It's there, but it's not in your face like you get from a normal stout. Maybe because this is an imperial stout and it's the alcohol that's kind of doing stuff to it. I keep going back and forth between some scores I've got in my mind here. Like I said, the vanilla is the star of the show, but it's not front. I don't want to say it's not front and center. It is front and center, but it's got a lot of support around it. It's got a little bit of hops and an aftertaste. There's enough malt there that you know it's there, but it's not so in your face. I prefer that the malt be a little bit stronger in this instance. I prefer it be a little bit more sweet maybe. But then again, if we did that, it might be a porter and not a stout. But I still like it. Instead, I'm torn between a 3.25 and a 3.5. Take one more sip to see what I can decide on. I'm still getting that hoppy aftertaste though. I think I'm going to split the difference here. And for flavor, I'm going to give it, if possible, 4 points, 3.35. So we're nearing the home stretch. Now we're coming to 1.4 mouthfeel. That is the beer's carbonation and its body. Let's not waste any time. Here we go. 1 point on the line. Very on point. Not a lot of carbonation, which I'm contradicting myself when I said there wasn't that much of a head there, but you don't want a lot of carbonation with a stout. And also, maybe I was a little too harsh on the appearance there, so, I mean, if there's more carbonation, obviously you're going to get more head from a stout, but you don't want that with the mouthfeel, so. With that in mind, you know what? I'm going to go back on my appearance score. Instead of 0.85, I am changing the score to a perfect 1. And for mouthfeel, I think it's perfect. One more try just to be sure. So for the mouthfeel, I think this is perfect. Carbonation is just right. There's not a lot, but you don't want a lot again. And the body is just on point for an imperial stout. It's there, it's in your face. You know it's heavy. Out of 1 point for mouthfeel, this gets the full point. And finally, for the overall impression, it's a really, 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 really good beer. I just think something's kind of weird with the flavor. It's not too weird that it turns me off. I just wish that there was... Maybe I just wish that there wasn't as much hoppiness in here. Maybe I just wish that the maltiness was more present, even if it's just by a hair. I mean, I know a stout you're supposed to get more of the roasted barley than you are with the malted barley, but I still think that would be more appropriate with a creme brulee and vanilla type beer than it would be with something else. Or maybe it would be better with something that's more naturally sweet, like a fruit beer, like a raspberry or something like that. Something with natural sweetness can complement the roastiness and such. But the vanilla, it does a good job. Not a perfect job, but a good job. This would be a beer that, if it was priced appropriately, I would get on a semi-regular basis. Every week, though, maybe not. Maybe once a month or every now and then, like for a special occasion, yeah, I'd get it. The less you let it linger in your mouth, the better, I think. It's like I said, the more I drink this, the more I like it. Again, it's not a beer that makes me say, oh, wow, this is the best beer of all time. But it's definitely a very, very high-quality beer. With that in mind, out of a possible 2 points for the overall impression, I'm going to give it 1.6. I think it should be a little bit better, but I think it deserves that high score. Okay, I have done the math, and out of a possible 10 points available here on Bryno's Brews, Creme Brulee from the Southern Tier Brewing Company gets 8.95 out of a possible 10 points. Just a hair away from what I'm now calling, if you haven't noticed before, I've got champion products. I'm going to give that distinction to beers and other products that get a score of 9 or higher. This just misses out on it, but it's really, really close. If it had been maybe a little bit more malty, maybe a little bit more sweet, just by a hair, it may have eclipsed to 9, but an 8.95 is nothing to sneeze at. This is a very, very fine beer, one that you should try at least once if it's available in your area. You won't be disappointed unless you hate stouts and you hate vanilla. Well, that will do it for another episode of Bryno's Brews here on Bryno's World. I want to thank you all very, very much for watching. If you thought I screwed up this review, or if you got ideas for beers I should try in this show as well, leave a comment down below. Otherwise, don't forget to like and share this video, and subscribe to Bryno's World if you haven't already. Once again, thank you very, very much for watching, and have yourself a good one.